Welcome to another journey through literature. Today we're embarking on an exploration of Robert Louis Stevenson's chilling masterpiece, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And, this isn't just some old Gothic horror story. It's a really profound exploration of human nature itself, all wrapped up in this gripping mystery that's just captivated readers for generations. At its heart, the novel really asks this deeply unsettling question. How can a man like Dr. Henry Jekyll, someone so respected, so charitable, be so intimately connected to this utterly detestable, violent, almost primitive figure, Mr. Edward Hyde? What's the dark secret binding them? What does it tell us about, the hidden parts of ourselves? It's pretty fascinating, actually, to think about Stevenson's own life when you approach this story. He was born in Edinburgh, Scotland, back in 1850. He actually studied law initially,
Right.
which wasn't his passion, clearly, but you can kind of see how it honed this meticulous precision in the way the novel lays out evidence. It almost reads like a legal case sometimes.
Mm-hmm. That structured approach.
Exactly. And maybe more poignantly, Stevenson struggled with severe respiratory problems his whole life, a constant physical battle.
Yeah.
And perhaps that gave him a unique insight into, internal conflict, the body betraying the mind, maybe. You almost see echoes of that in Jekyll's own torment, both physical and mental.
That's a really interesting point. The personal struggle potentially feeding the creative one.
And the setting.
Yeah.
Oh, the setting is just absolutely crucial. Late 19th century London. It's almost a character itself, isn't it?
Completely. You can't separate the story from Victorian London.
This was an era defined by these incredibly rigid societal norms. Public reputation.
Well, it wasn't just important. For a gentleman, it was practically everything.
Your entire standing rested on it.
Imagine that society valuing strict moral behavior, sexual restraint, absolutely zero tolerance for anything even remotely scandalous.
Right. This intense pressure to keep up appearances, maintain that flawless public facade. It directly fuels the conflict in the story. It's a world where secrets aren't just hidden, they're like buried deep under layers and layers of propriety.
Mm-hmm. Sealed away.
But, underneath that respectable surface, there was this cauldron of cultural anxieties just bubbling away.
Oh, definitely.
Science was exploding. Discoveries like Darwin's theory of evolution were seriously challenging long-held religious beliefs.
Shaking the foundation.
The idea that humans might have evolved from, lower forms,
Yeah.
that was revolutionary, even disturbing to many.
Blasphemous, some would say.
And at the same time, you had this growing public fascination with the supernatural. Spiritualism, the occult, the unexplained.
Right, that push and pull, science versus the mystical.
Exactly. This tension between rational science and this pull towards the unknown, the mystical.
Yeah.
It just perfectly sets the stage for Dr. Jekyll's radical and, frankly, dangerous experiments.
It creates the perfect environment for that kind of transgression.
And it's in this environment that Stevenson just masterfully digs into that prevailing Victorian idea of the dual nature of human beings.
Yeah.
The constant battle between our rational, moral, good selves.
And the other side.
Yeah, the irrational, instinctive, aggressive, sometimes evil impulses.
And what's truly insightful about this novel, even just looking at the title, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Stevenson signals the complexity right away.
How so?
Well, strange case.
Yeah.
It immediately suggests a mystery, right? Maybe a legal thing, like you said, but also maybe a scientific investigation. It hints at something unnatural, maybe even supernatural.
Okay, yeah.
Then you get Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, that simple word, and. It's so telling.
Not versus.
Exactly. Not Jekyll versus Hyde, which would imply, a clear opposition, a fight. Instead, and suggests this intrinsic connection, almost inseparable. It foreshadows their ultimate unity.
Huh. Never quite thought of the and that way.
It's subtle, but it's there. And it hints at something much deeper than just, say, class distinction, even though the doctor versus Mr. might initially suggest that social hierarchy.
Right. The gentleman and the other.
Precisely. And the narrative itself, it's just a masterclass in building suspense. It mostly unfolds through the eyes of Mr. Gabriel John Utterson. He's our guide, really. A London lawyer, very shrewd and deeply loyal to Dr. Jekyll.
Our rational viewpoint character.
Exactly. Utterson is key. He's a man of logic, order, deep integrity, and his methodical, almost detective-like search for the truth is what drives those early chapters. He's kind of a stand-in for us, the reader, as we try to make sense of these bizarre events.
Keeps us grounded.
Right. And Stevenson's choice to keep us locked in Utterson's limited perspective for so long, that just cranks up the mystery. We only get the direct revelations, the full truth, in those final chapters.
Which makes the reveal so much more powerful.
Absolutely. It allows for this truly shocking unveiling, ensures the story's impact really sticks with you long after you've finished reading.
Okay, so let's pull back that curtain then. Start unpacking this dual life. Where does it all begin? The inciting incident.
Right. Our journey starts with Mr. Utterson, our rational lawyer friend. He's taking his usual Sunday walk with his distant cousin, Mr. Richard Enfield.
The epitome of routine.
Totally. These walks, they're more than just walks. They symbolize that whole Victorian routine and decorum. An orderly, predictable life that's about to be, well, completely shattered.
Mm-hmm.
As they're walking, their conversation turns to this strange-looking door. It's on a neglected building, stands out like a sore thumb on an otherwise respectable street.
An anomaly.
Yeah. And this door, right from the get-go, it's a powerful symbol. It's literally an entryway into hidden secrets, right? It reflects London's own duality, respectable fronts hiding. Well, who knows what sinister reality
The
is.
city itself having two faces.
Exactly. And it's here that Enfield tells this truly horrifying story. He talks about witnessing a man, later we know it's Hyde, trampling calmly over the child's body and left her screaming on the ground.
Ugh, that phrase trampled calmly. It's chilling, isn't it? That oxymoron, that contradiction just sends shivers down your spine. It's not just violence, it's cold, unfeeling cruelty. It highlights Hyde's completely inhuman nature.
Attached brutality.
And his appearance, too. It defies description. Enfield says he's displeasing, detestable, ugly, deformed, but he can't quite pin down how.
Right, that indescribable quality makes him even more unsettling.
It does. He's presented almost as this symbol of pure, unadulterated evil, a primal force. Stevenson even calls him troglodyte-like, animalistic.
Tapping into those evolutionary fears.
Right, the idea of this regressive, unevolved human lurking beneath the surface that was deeply disturbing to Victorians who prided themselves on civilization and progress.
And what really electrifies that opening beyond Hyde's awful act is the detail about the check.
Ah, yes. The check he uses to pay off the family.
It's signed by a well-known and respectable man, Dr. Jekyll.
Boom. There's the central mystery laid right out for Utterson and for us. How on earth could this distinguished gentleman be tied to such a monster?
Utterson's reaction is telling, too. Just this immediate, quiet concern, almost a heavy sigh. It shows his loyalty to Jekyll, but also his methodical nature kicking in, even as he's grappling with this inexplicable information.
And the theme of secrecy just slams down right there. Utterson and Enfield, in true Victorian style, agree never to refer to this again.
Classic. Just bury the unpleasantness, hope it goes away.
Sweep it under the rug.
But that very agreement to secrecy, that attempt to bury it, actually kicks the story forward, doesn't it? It fuels Utterson.
How so?
Well, his deep concern for Jekyll makes him investigate. He can't let it go, despite the agreement. And his worry is specifically rooted in his knowledge of Jekyll's strange will.
The will that leaves everything to Hyde.
Exactly. If Jekyll disappears or dies, Utterson is alarmed. It shows his loyalty, sure, but also his detective drive. He needs to uncover the truth, mostly because he wants to protect Jekyll from what he assumes must be, well, blackmail.
And that assumption of blackmail is so revealing about the time period, isn't it?
Absolutely key. Utterson jumps straight to blackmail because, well, it was a huge fear in Victorian society.
Reputation was everything.
Paramount. A hidden scandal, a past mistake. It could utterly destroy a gentleman's life, his standing. It shows how fragile that public image was and how desperate people might get to protect it.
So in his search for answers, Utterson goes to see Dr. Hasty Lanyon, an old friend of both his and Jekyll's.
Right. And Lanyon's reaction is striking.
It is. He's full of disgust.
Yeah.
His tone is almost indifferent when talking about Jekyll.
He explicitly says their friendship ended 10 years ago because of Jekyll's, what does he call it? Unscientific balderdash.
Yeah, fanciful experiments.
And that moment immediately sets up this crucial clash of ideas, of worldviews. You have traditional, grounded science, represented by Lanyon.
The respectable face of medicine.
Right. Versus Jekyll's more radical, almost mystical approach. Lanyon clearly sees it as not just wrong, but dangerous, morally questionable nonsense.
It's a big red flag early on.
A huge warning sign. It shows the ethical lines Jekyll was already crossing, moving into territory that conventional science found, well, not just absurd, but deeply dubious.
So Utterson keeps digging. He's relentless. And eventually he meets Hyde face to face for the first time.
And his reaction? Pure horror. He's greatly shocked, horrified by Hyde's unpleasant appearance.
Again, That indescribable wrongness.
Exactly. It emphasizes this profound, unnatural evil Hyde embodies. It's not just physical ugliness, it's something deeper, a spiritual repulsiveness that people feel intensely but can't quite name.
And Stevenson uses the setting to really amplify that feeling, right?
Oh, beautifully. The symbolism of the setting in these early chapters is brilliant. He masterfully contrasts Jekyll's fancy townhouse symbol of his respectable life, his wealth.
Front door.
Right, with that neglected building door of his laboratory. The back entrance, the one Hyde uses.
Which leads where?
It leads towards Soho, a much down-market area, infamous at the time for crime, poverty, vice.
A physical representation of the split.
Precisely. Jekyll's respectable public face versus his hidden, darker pursuits. And as the story goes on, you get more and more fog, moonlight. It literally and figuratively obscures the truth, makes everything murky, mysterious.
London itself becomes this city of secrets.
That city of dualities, yeah. Outwardly proper, but hiding deep corruption. It perfectly mirrors Jekyll himself.
So moving into the second act, the mystery really starts to coil tighter, and the violence, it ramps up significantly.
Definitely. Chapter 3. Dr. Jekyll is quite at ease. The title itself is ironic, isn't it?
Very. He's trying to project normalcy, hosting a dinner party, but you feel the tension underneath. Utterson confronts him about the will, and Jekyll immediately gets defensive and secretive.
But at the same time...
Paradoxically, yeah.
Yeah.
He expresses this deep trust in Utterson, pleads with him to uphold the will for Hyde's sake.
And he makes that fateful claim.
Right. He promises Utterson he can get rid of Mr. Hyde at any time, which we now know is just tragic self-deception.
Fatal delusion. That scene is so important for understanding Jekyll. His complex motives. He wants the reputation, desperately. He thinks he has control over Hyde, and he needs Utterson to protect his secret.
It's all about managing appearances.
And managing that internal conflict. He wants to indulge those undignified desires through Hyde, experience that dark freedom, but stay the respected Dr. Jekyll. His belief that he can just ditch Hyde anytime. It's terrifying hubris.
He thinks he can just compartmentalize evil.
Exactly. But the evil side, Hyde, is already starting to exert its own will, subtly but surely. He thinks he's in charge, but he's already losing the fight.
And then the fight spills out violently.
Yeah.
Chapter 4, the Carew murder case.
A truly horrifying turn. About a year passes, and then Hyde's brutality just erupts. The murder of Sir Danvers Carew, a well-liked MP.
Witnessed by a maid.
Who describes Hyde's ape-like fury. He beats Carew mercilessly with a cane, stomps on him until he dies.
That phrase again, ape-like fury, directly linking Hyde to the primitive, the animalistic.
Taps right into that Victorian fear of the animal within. It's not just a murder, it's a regression, a savage outburst against civilization itself.
And here's where Stevenson really starts tightening the noose, connecting Jekyll and Hyde physically.
The cane.
The murder weapon. Utterson identifies it as half of a cane he gave to Jekyll as a gift.
Chilling. The first tangible physical link. Utterson must realize then that it's far worse than blackmail.
Absolutely. And when they go to Hyde's place in Soho, it's ransacked. Clothes everywhere, burnt papers.
Reckless abandon. A desperate, clumsy attempt to destroy evidence.
The atmosphere Stevenson creates. London is described as a district of some city in a nightmare. Gloomy, fog-ridden streets.
It enhances that solemn, dreadful mood, reinforces the sense of pervasive evil, of truth being hidden in the fog.
That ape-like fury. It feels like a deliberate nod to Darwin, doesn't it?
Oh, I think so. Hyde as regression, a primal force unleashed. It makes him terrifying because he represents this potential for savagery within supposedly civilized man. And that broken cane, a gift symbolizing friendship, connection, now shattered by Hyde's violence. It's a potent symbol of Jekyll's corrupted life.
So, Chapter 5, Incident of the Letter. The dishonesty just gets deeper.
Layers upon layers.
Utterson visits Jekyll, who looks visibly sick, anxious. Jekyll claims he got a letter from Hyde.
Promising to disappear forever.
Right. Never contact or see Mr. Hyde again.
Yeah.
And conveniently, Jekyll says he burned the envelope.
Very convenient.
But the story starts to fray. Poole, the butler, confirms no messenger delivered any letter that day.
Oh.
And then the kicker, Mr. Guest, Utterson's handwriting expert. He looks at the Hyde letter and compares it to Jekyll's writing. They're strikingly similar, just slanted the other way.
Oh, wow.
Utterson is immediately suspicious. The realization hits him. Henry Jekyll is forged for a murderer.
That must have been a devastating blow for Utterson.
It changes everything for him. Hints at a connection far deeper, far more disturbing than he ever imagined. And again, the imagery of the drowned city in fog, lamps like carbuncles, visually echoes that hidden corruption, that obscured truth. Utterson's dawning horror.
That handwriting discovery is absolutely pivotal for Utterson. His logical mind, trying to fit it all into a neat box like blackmail, is now faced with something much worse. Jekyll's direct complicity. Not just a victim, but an active participant in deception, a forger.
It pulls the rug out from under him.
Completely forces him to question everything about Jekyll. The Drowned City metaphor is perfect feeling submerged in deceit, unable to see clearly.
The consequences just keep escalating. Chapter 6, Remarkable Incident of Dr. Lanyon. This is where things get really dark for the other characters, too.
Painfully clear, yeah.
After Hyde disappears for a while, Jekyll seems to bounce back, become sociable again, but it doesn't last.
No, he rapidly withdraws, becomes ill and terrified.
And Dr. Lanyon, he falls gravely ill, too, cuts off all contact with Jekyll, says he prefers to treat him as dead.
Chilling words. His tone is described as bitter, full of anger. It suggests some profound trauma.
And his physical decline is shocking.
Mhm.
Utterson sees a death warrant written legibly upon his face. It shows the psychological toll of whatever Lanyon witnessed, something horrifying, unnatural.
It broke him.
And this chapter uses that brilliant narrative device. Lanyon dies, but he leaves behind a sealed letter for Utterson.
To be opened only after Jekyll's death or disappearance.
Exactly. It just cranks up the suspense massively.
Mhm.
Utterson goes from investigator to reluctant guardian of this terrible secret, promises a final, shocking reveal.
And the description of the letter slept in the inmost corner of his private safe. It perfectly symbolizes that hidden truth, locked away, waiting for the tragic moment. Stevenson is just expertly building that tension.
Lanyon's rapid decay is such a stark physical sign of how unnatural Jekyll's experiments were.
Absolutely. It's not just scientific disagreement anymore. It's a violation of the natural order that literally shatters a man, body, and soul. His refusal even to speak Jekyll's name shows the depth of the trauma. Something unspeakable happened.
And that sealed letter. It's like a ticking time bomb in Utterson's safe. The weight of secrets just building and building until they have to explode.
Right, and the suspense reaches this terrifying peak in Chapter 7, Incident at the Window.
Yes. Utterson and Enfield on another walk, and they just happen to see Jekyll at his laboratory window.
Serendipity or fate?
He looks awful, pale and sickly, like a disconsolate prisoner, trapped, suffering. They have this brief, really strained chat, and then suddenly Jekyll just slams the window shut, and they hear this dismal screech from inside.
The glimpse.
Just a fleeting glimpse for Utterson and Enfield, and for us, the reader of a transformation starting. A hint of Jekyll's internal battle and the monster taking over.
Terrifying.
And their shared reaction, God forgive us. It just underlines how unnatural, how blasphemous, whatever they witnessed felt.
Yeah.
Jekyll is that disconsolate prisoner. It perfectly captures his self-imposed trap, his total loss of control. And the setting, again, premature twilight outside the window.
Foreshadowing the end.
Exactly. It foreshadows the tragic end of Jekyll's tortured life. It's this chilling moment where you realize something is deeply, fundamentally wrong,
Yeah.
inexorably unfolding.
That scene at the window really functions as the sort of external climax, the point where the mystery starts cracking open for the outside world, even if they don't understand the full horror yet.
Right.
That dismal scream, it's not just a sound, it's animalistic, a cry of terror, hinting at the raw, uncontrolled nature of what Jekyll's becoming. And the premature twilight is such potent imagery. Jekyll's life, once bright, respectable, is just descending into permanent darkness, a visual metaphor for the triumph of that lethal side of man he unleashed.
And now, Act 3, the final plunge, where the truth comes out and everything falls apart. Chapter 8, The Last Night. This is the big dramatic climax.
The breaking point.
Poole, Jekyll's butler loyal for 20 years, contacts Utterson. He's desperate, terrified. He fears foul play, convinced his master has been murdered by some masked thing in the lab.
You feel Poole's terror and his loyalty. After 20 years, he knows something is terribly wrong.
Utterson is compelled to act. He and Poole, armed with an axe and a poker, they literally break down the door to the laboratory.
Forcefully invading Jekyll's secret world, breaking down that physical barrier to the truth.
And inside, the discovery, the twitching body of Mr. Hyde. He's committed suicide. And he's dressed in clothes that are far too big for him.
Jekyll's clothes.
Exactly. But Dr. Jekyll himself, nowhere to be found, leaving these immediate harrowing questions.
That detail of the suicide is critical, Hyde's ultimate self-destruction. And the ill-fitting clothes, it perfectly symbolizes his parasitic relationship with Jekyll. He's wearing Jekyll's life, but it's a grotesque imitation. It doesn't fit.
And then they find the papers.
The final pieces. A revised will, naming Utterson as the heir now, not Hyde. And two crucial letters. One from the dead Dr. Lanyon, and Jekyll's own full confession, with instructions. Read Lanyon's first.
Masterfully setting up that final reveal sequence. Just ratcheting up the suspense one last time.
And Poole mentions the mirror in the lab. This glass have seen some strange things, sir. Such a profound symbol reflecting the constant, horrifying observation of Jekyll's duality, his monstrous changes, this intense secrecy, Poole's loyalty, Utterson's resolve. It all builds to Hyde's tragic, violent end.
So the falling action starts immediately. Chapter 9, Dr. Lanyon's narrative. The perspective shifts entirely. We get Lanyon's own horrifying account.
The first explicit first-hand revelation for us.
Lanyon describes getting that desperate letter from Jekyll, asking him to go to the lab at midnight, get a specific drawer of chemicals, and give it to a messenger.
And despite their estrangement, Lanyon's loyalty, maybe curiosity too, makes him do it.
Right. He describes the messenger arriving. It's Hyde, of course. His appearance evokes immediate disgust.
Yeah.
A shocking expression.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lanyon details the moment Hyde mixes the chemicals, and right there, before Lanyon's eyes, undergoes this agonizing, grotesque, painful transformation back into Dr. Jekyll.
Unbelievable.
Lanyon's raw scream, oh God, it just perfectly captures the shock, the terror. It's the visceral reaction that, as we know, leads directly to his rapid decline and death. His life, as he puts it, was shaken to the roots, utterly shattered.
That narrative shift is incredibly effective. It finally gives us the first-hand account we've been waiting for, validates all the fears and suspicions. It's not rumor anymore. It's direct, visceral experience of the monstrous truth.
It confirms the duality, sure.
But more than that, it shows the destructive power of science used unethically, unnaturally. The devastating cost of witnessing such a profound violation of nature, Lanyon being shaken to the roots, it's his entire worldview, his sanity fundamentally broken by what he saw, the price of forbidden knowledge.
And finally, the resolution. Chapter 10, Henry Jekyll's full statement of the case. Utterson reads Jekyll's own confession, the ultimate revelation, everything explained.
At last.
Jekyll meticulously details his lifelong struggle, what he calls his lower elements, his darker desires, hidden impulses. He talks about his desperate need to compartmentalize his respectable public life from his undignified, sinful private pleasures.
Trying to live two lives.
Exactly. His experiment, he explains, was this arrogant attempt to literally separate his good and evil selves, based on his flawed idea that man is not truly one, but truly two.
A fatal miscalculation.
He talks about the initial thrill, the freedom of becoming Hyde, indulging those suppressed desires, feeling, as he says, the animal within me licking the chops of memory.
An escape, liberation from Victorian constraints.
But like any addiction, it quickly spun out of control. He started changing into Hyde involuntarily. Hyde grew stronger, more violent, started devouring and destroying people uncontrollably. The power shifted completely. Hyde wasn't the tool anymore. He was a master.
That final confession is the real psychological heart of the novel, isn't it? It explains the why. A man trapped by his own desires, consumed by scientific pride, ultimately a victim of his own flawed creation.
Yeah.
That image, the animal within me licking the chops of memory, it's so vivid. Shows how deeply Hyde's evil pleasure became part of Jekyll. It highlights the danger of unchecked desires and the core flaw in Jekyll's plan, trying to cut out the evil instead of integrating it, managing it.
You can't just suppress the darkness.
No. The novel argues strongly that suppressing it just lets it fester, grow stronger until it consumes everything, leads to self-destruction.
In the end, becomes inevitable.
A tragic cascade, yeah. The special salt, the original ingredient needed for the potion, starts running out. He can't get pure enough replacements. Hyde's dominance increases. Jekyll can't change back.
So writing the confession is his last act as Jekyll.
His last desperate act. Knowing the transformation is becoming permanent. Knowing Hyde will either face execution for his crimes or, well, as we saw, destroy himself. This chapter is the ultimate exploration of duality, showing the danger of repression, the cost of unchecked desire, the loss of reputation, the triumph of the lethal side of man. That final struggle is internal, agonizing. Jekyll trying to wrestle back control from the devil long caged, a battle he loses.
So just to kind of wrap things up, what we've really unpacked here in the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is this journey from, an unsettling mystery about this weird connection between a good doctor and a terrible criminal,
Mm-hmm.
to the profound revelation of Jekyll's dual identity.
Okay.
His tragic experiment, born from this misguided wish to separate his life, indulge his dark side. It ultimately led to the complete takeover by his evil half Hyde, and their mutual destruction through suicide.
Exactly. And the core conflict you see isn't just the external violence Hyde commits. It's that intense internal battle inside Jekyll. The struggle between wanting Victorian respectability and dealing with these suppressed, sinful urges.
A battle he lost spectacularly.
Completely. The novel really stands as this powerful cautionary tale about the perils of unchecked desires, sure, but also the dangers of trying to surgically remove the dark side of human nature instead of confronting it, integrating it responsibly. Hyde's triumph is Jekyll's total undoing. It shows the tragic results of self-deception, scientific hubris, moral compromise.
It's a reminder that messing with the fundamental nature of things, well, it rarely ends well.
Especially when you ignore the ethical boundaries, the complexities of the human soul itself.
Wow, it really is a masterpiece, isn't it? Just packed with hidden meanings, literary devices, character depths. We've really only scratched the surface today.
Oh, absolutely.
We've laid some groundwork, explored the big themes, the main plot points, but there's so much more to dig into. So in our upcoming explorations, we're actually going to dissect this novel chapter by chapter, uncover even more layers of its brilliance, the lasting impact of Stevenson's genius.
Sounds great. There's plenty more to discuss.
Thank you for joining us on this literary journey. Hit subscribe and share to become part of our AI-human collaboration where every listener helps shape future episodes.